I hope y'all stayed up to see Paul George last night. PG-13 went rated R on the Suns. But is Paul George getting the credit that he deserves? Find out next on First Take with me, Dominique Foxworth, our very own playoff P, NBA champion Kendrick Perkins, and refereeing the proceedings this morning is Charlie Arnold. Don't change the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. First Take right now, ESPN2.
Chance to do something the franchise has not done in 28 years.
We just have to have a great deal of balance. We know we're going to see a desperate team.
Jackson goes hard and throws it down. A near perfect start for the Clippers.
Poised right now. You just got to stay the course.
Three-pointer. Bang! George on the pull-up. Nails a three.
Oh, George rolling.
Throws it down with authority.
That's just who we are. Fight. We scrappy. The most important thing, we do it together.
Look, I think we all spoke too soon because playoff P strikes again. That 41-piece wing dinner Cajun rub style, right, Perk? That's what you called it. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome into First Take. I'm Charlie Arnold, joined by Dominique Foxworth and Kendrick Perkins. Guys, the question I asked you right when we got off the air yesterday, do we think Paul George is going to have a big game? The answer was no, and what do you know?
Oh, man, he embarrassed both of us because we both were like, nah. Paul George ain't got it, but he keeps bouncing back every week. That whole team, man, the whole team come down from 0-2, 0-2, and now 3-1. They keep fighting.
And Dominic, I also want to give you your props because you were in Stephen A's chair this morning doing the intro. So congratulations on that. That's what you wanted yesterday. So there you are.
That means I won yesterday.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, let's get right into it because last night's game was a thriller. The Clippers living to see yet another day. LA coming in hot. It was a complete reversal from Game 4. This time it was LA on the road, which jumped out early and never trailed. PG with the playoff performance of his career, 41 points, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists, the first Clipper to do so in history. So shake them haters off, right, PG?
Do you feel like, sometimes people pick on you a little bit more than, say, other stars?
I do. And it's the honest truth. It's a fact. But I can't worry about that. It's comes with the job, I guess. But it is what it is. I still try to go and dominate, whether I'm shooting the ball well or not shooting the ball well. I still try to dominate just the whole game in general.
I don't know where this trolling bull has come from, where the internet controls the narrative about these players. It's becoming foolish, man. Like I said earlier in the year, that's one of the most special players to ever lace his shoes up. Get this dude his flowers, man. I don't understand the slander. It's becoming quite silly now. Like, respect these players, man. Respect these greats.
And Paul George with a huge postseason so far, leading all players in points in minutes played and also ranking in the top 5 in rebounds and assists. Again, his 41 points last night were his career high in a postseason game. So Dominique, has Paul George cemented himself now as a superstar?
I mean, I think he's a superstar. I think he's like a second-tier superstar. He's not like up there with like LeBron and KD and Steph and those guys. And the numbers that he's putting up are like close to Jordan-like numbers this year in the playoffs. It's impressive. But I'm not about to say that he's Jordan. I think what he did last night was incredible. And that whole team has been special, frankly. Marcus Morris stepping up last night was awesome. Cousins giving them 15 points in like 10 minutes, it seemed like, was amazing. And Paul George putting up 41, obviously going off in the third quarter for 20 points, I think it was. He is great. He is outstanding. But let's not pretend like he's up there with Kawhi and those sorts of guys. And I don't think that's an insult. I think it's just a reality. And Paul George deserves a ton of credit. The mental strength after he talked about dealing with like depression in the bubble last night, the mental strength that it takes to come back from like what Cousins was saying, all the online slander, for him to come back after missing big free throws in this series and to come back and have the confidence, frankly, to put up 41 is outstanding. So he deserves flowers, and I'm gonna give him his flowers. But I don't think that he's like top tier of the NBA like the guy on his team that they're missing. If Kawhi's out there, we think they're winning a championship. Without Kawhi, I don't think that Paul George is gonna be able to do that, which is fair. That's fine. It's not an insult. It's just where he ranks amongst the greats that are in the NBA right now?
Well, here we go again, Dominique. And look, one thing I'm going to give you your flowers about is you got a nice suit on. You looking like Lil Bootsy going to a wedding right now, okay? I'm going to give you props on that. But let me say this. Let me say this real quick. Right now, Paul George is in his bag like he got fries at the bottom, okay? And when you talk about superstars, I want to separate the difference. You're talking about Steph Curry, LeBron James, Kevin Durant. They are mega stars, okay? Paul George is a superstar. He's been a superstar. That's never been a knock on him. We talk about a guy that always that always make a case to be in the All-Star game. We talk about a guy that made the All-NBA team this year. We're talking about a guy right now that has elevated his game tremendously. This postseason, throughout the entire postseason, he's averaging around 25 points a night, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. When Kawhi went out, he elevated his game to 30 points a night, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. He's dominating in every form and fashion. And right now, look, I've been very critical of Paul George, but he is living up to his name right now, and he's doing everything and more. So to not call him a superstar this morning is very disturbing to me, and I love the way that you came on dressed. I love your delivery to announce First Take, Big Perk, Charlie, and all that, but you starting off on the wrong foot tonight because when it matters the most, Paul George is delivering.
Okay, I mean, this year, so far this season, he's been or this postseason, he's been delivering, but not every time. Like, they lost a couple games because he was not able to deliver at the free throw line in the previous game. So, like, I think that Paul George is outstanding, and I think that Paul George deserves his flowers. He deserves all the credit, but I feel like we aren't actually disagreeing. Like, I said that he is not a superstar, meaning that he doesn't climb to the level of Steph Curry, LeBron, KD, those type of guys, and you agree with me. He's a tier below that. Kawhi, those guys, he's a tier below that. Whether we call them superstars or megastars, like, to me, feels like semantics. But arguing like you are that he never has come up short, like, of course he's come up short. Everybody's come up short, even those megastars. KD just came up short in the last round. Like, they come up short. He comes up short sometimes. It's fair to be critical of him for those moments as long as you're fair and you celebrate him in his big moments, which is what we are doing, because what he did last night was special. And even though he probably did foul Chris Paul on that little push-off, that little chicken wing, hot dog and bologna, chicken and macaroni, chilling with the homies. It was a great move, but it was probably illegal, but it was still, ooh, that thing is nasty. I hate those screenshots that they got flowing online against my man Chris right now from that moment. But Paul George deserves all of the credit, but you and I agree, Perk. He's a step below those names that I was naming, like KD, Kawhi, LeBron, like those guys. He's a little bit below them, right?
Well, look, I'm already having high blood pressure problems because I need to lose weight, and you're not helping the situation right now. For the simple fact is that I just told you that it's a difference. Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant are megastars. Megastars is way different than superstars. It's a lot of superstars in the league today. Guys like Trae Young, guys like Luka Doncic, guys like Paul George. Kawhi and Paul George right now are in the same category, if you ask me. What Paul George is doing right now and how he's leading the Clippers right now without Kawhi Leonard, just think about it. They only knocked off the Utah Jazz, who happen to have the best record in the NBA, the #1 seed overall, without.
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're right about all that. I'm not disagreeing with you, but we are in, like, First Take. This is like Uber First Take, because right now we are arguing about semantics. Like, we agree. He's a tier below. Yes, I'll put him in the conversation with those guys that you mentioned, but yeah, we all agree. He's a tier below. If I call him a superstar or a megastar, a mini star, a supernova, whatever you want to call him, we are on the same page. He's not those other guys, but he deserves credit. I'm not trying to take anything from him. Yes, he is as good as many of those players you named. He is not on the same level as Kawhi. So just stop that. Like, Kawhi got hurt, but but you act like you can't remember what Kawhi was doing in the last round, in the round before that, in the season before that, in the seasons before that. Like, it takes consistency, and it takes being clutch in those big moments time and time again. Paul George has been clutch recently. He's also fallen short recently, which is not a knock on him. I'm just saying he's not on the top level with those other guys, even though they all come up short from time to time. We fundamentally agree. I'm not about to sit up here and argue with you about megastar versus superstar versus mini star. Like, yes, he is very good. He's a step below those names that I mentioned. You agree with me. We're on the same page. Let me tighten up my Boosie tie.
No, we're not on the same page. And one thing about it is you are going to argue and debate with me because I'm right here on the same set with you. And do we have short-term memory? Do we remember Paul George in Indiana? Do we remember Paul George pushing that super team, Big Three, the Miami Heat to 7 games when he was delivering great fashion? Yes, he had a drop-off in the playoffs. But let's not forget, when he went to Oklahoma City, this guy was in the MVP. He finished second in the MVP run-up. He has phenomenal regular seasons. He just have a drop-off in playoffs. But this year, right now, today, is what we're talking about. Paul George is a superstar.
Playoffs is where we define these guys. You can't consistently have drop-offs in the playoffs and expect me to talk about you the same way I talk about those other guys. Like, he is balling right now.
I guess the regular season don't matter. I guess the regular season don't matter.
Of course it matters. Of course it matters. You know it matters. I agree it matters. But we all know that there's a difference. There's a level you can get to for regular season performance, and then there's another level. And you have to do that in the postseason.
God bless your heart.
Well, this conversation is exactly why PG recognizes he's one of the most trolled players in the league. But look, we have to recognize the Clippers brought their A game last night because in Game 4 they had 36 points in the entire first half. Last night, they had 36 points in the first quarter alone. And, of course, we saw PG 41 points. That is a playoff career high for him. All right, we got to go. We still have a lot more to come up on First Take. Scottie Pippen dropping a bomb, calling Phil Jackson racist. Perk and Dominique react and break down Scottie's wild past week in the media. Plus, who was the most important player in tonight's Bucks-Hawks Game 4? Do the guys disagree? Of course they do. The fireworks